I'm going to go over the materials that you can use for our pattern repetition seriality class. Repetition, pattern, seriality. We're making stuff. What you have in your kit is going to be Speedy Cut, which is this really flexible, almost eraser-like material, which is very easy to cut. Some other things with the linoleum cutting tools we're going to go over include linoleum, which has been backed. Also, other surfaces. This is a resin grave that's been backed. This is unmounted linoleum, which has burlap on the back. That's also an option. And we have even floor linoleum, which will work. These are going to be for relief, which is where you have your surface and you want to cut below the surface. What's raised will print. It is as if it is a rubber stamp. We're basically making our rubber stamps. You're going to have your linoleum tools, linoleum cutting tools, which are not as tough as wood cut tools. If you have wood cut tools, they will work. If you have the kit with this and linoleum, these unscrew and the blades are interchangeable, and then it goes back in and I tighten that down. I happen to have two handles because I like that, so I don't have to change them out quite so often. And I got a small box that I use to keep my extra tips in. And you can buy extra tips, just tips if you want. You can also buy extra handles, things like that. The Speedy Cut that we're going to work with here, that is really easy to cut. You can draw on your Speedy Cut with a pencil. You can also go over it with a Sharpie if you would like, or even a ballpoint pen. Another option is to do a drawing on paper and either have it printed out or on the computer, print it out through a laser printer or have a photocopy. It needs to be toner based. This can then be put face down. I did it on this one. Face down and use a warm iron to iron the back with a little bit of pressure. It does not need to be that hot. Basically at the delicates to medium setting, and you can iron it, and then when you peel back, it won't be perfect, but you can see enough of your drawing to be able to see what you've got and then touch it up with your pencil. Something else with your materials and your tools, something else to be aware of for future reference. With your tools, eventually they do get a little bit dull with use. Now, I've been using these sets for, oh my gosh, 15 years, more, 20 years. One thing you can get, if you really get into all this is by Flex Cut, and what comes in this package is a sharpening block with sharpening compound here, and it's leather, and then this is wood with some extra leather here, and this goes on, and this on the angle with the blade, with that angle for the sharpness, and you pull off. All right, and that will help keep it sharp. You do not need to do a sharpening with this. Rarely, very rarely. And even with something like this, which is a U gouge, because it's a U, there's also a V gouge, you get all sorts of things, is I can put some in here, and this you draw backwards on an angle and walk this back. And then I can just go, whoop, and that will be fine. And this, for the project we're doing, will not be necessary. Your tools will be more than sharp enough. For the future, if you're using them for a lot of other projects, this is a treat, and it does save and extend your blades for a long time. All right, so those are our materials. You're also going to get a brayer and plexi. We'll use those when we ink up for printing.